Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to solve the section C of CBSE Sample Paper 2023-2024. So the first question goes like this. National Art Convention got registrations from students from all parts of the country, of which 60 are interested in music, 84 are interested in dance, and 108 students are interested in handicrafts. For optimum cultural exchange, organizers wish to keep them in minimum number of groups such that each group consists of students interested in the same art form and the number of students in each group is the same. Find the number of students in each group. Find the number of groups in each art form. How many rooms are required if each group will be allotted a room? So first let us understand this question. The main thing that is given in the question is each group consists of students interested in the same art form and they have also given number of students in each group is the same. So for example, let us take I divide the students in music. How many students are interested in music? 60. So I divide this 60 students into groups of 6. So the 60 students I am dividing into 6 groups. So in each group I should have 10 students, right? So I divide the students in the music into 6 groups, each containing 10. Then the students of other interests should also be divided into groups of 10, right? Because they have given the number of students in each group should be same. So 84 also I should be dividing into certain groups in which all the groups should have 10 students, and 108 also I should be dividing into certain number of groups in which all the groups should have each 10 students. But is that possible? Because if you divide 84 by 10, you will have 4 members remaining, and if you divide 108 by 10 you will have 8 members remaining. So it is not possible to divide 84 and 108 into groups in which each group contains 10 students, right? So we need to divide all the students from each group, each interest into groups containing same number of students, which is divisible by all three numbers. So I mean, if I divide this one group by certain number of students, uh, see this 10 is divisible by 60. So similarly, this 10 should, since this 10 was not divisible by 84 and 108 only, we can't divide these students into groups containing 10 students. So in order that we divide them into groups in which each group contains the same number of students, this x value, this number of students in each group value, this value should be divisible by all the three numbers 60, 84 and 108. So let us take, by seeing just by the look, we can understand that it is divisible by 2. 60 is divisible by 2, 84 is divisible by 2, 108 is also divisible by 2. So if I divide 60 students into groups in which each group contains 2 students, so totally I will have 30 groups for music alone, right? So since in each group I am dividing into 2 students, so 30 groups, 60 students. Similarly, 42 groups for dance and 54 groups for handicrafts I will be having. So totally how much? 30 plus 42 plus 54, nearly more than 100 groups you will be having. But what have they given in this question? Organizers wish to keep them in minimum number of groups such that each group consists of students interested in the same art form and the number of students in each group is the same. So you have to minimize this number of groups. So if you want to minimize this number of groups, here you have taken 2, and since you have taken 2, we have a lot of groups. Since one group can have only 2 students, we have a lot of groups that are formed here. So in order that the number of groups is minimum, this value should be high. At the same time, since the number of students in each group should be the same for all these three types of interest of the students, so this number should also be divisible by 60, 84 and 108, and that's how we come into the concept of the highest common factor of 60, 84 and 108. Since if we find the highest common factor of 60, 84 and 108, we'll both obtain a minimum number of groups and also at the same time we will obtain at a number of students which can be equally divided for all the three interested students into groups. We'll divide into certain number of groups in which in each group we'll have that same number of students. So in this question, first we are going to find out what is the value of HCF of 60, 84 and 108. So the value of HCF here will be, here we have 2 as common, yet another 2 as common, and 1 3 as common for all these three numbers. So the HCF will be 2 into 2 into 3, so 4 into 3, which is equal to 12. So since the HCF is 12, then the number of students in each group will be, number of students in each group will be equal to 12. So since now we have found the number of students in each group is equal to 12, what is the next question they are asking? Find the number of groups in each art form. So each group consists of 12 members, and so we can find the number of groups in each art form. So number of groups for music is equal to 60 divided by 12. Total number of students divided by number of students in each group will give you the number of groups. So 5 groups for music, then number of groups for dance will be equal to 84 divided by 12, which is equal to 7, and the number of groups for handicrafts will be equal to 108 by 12, which is equal to 9. So this part of the question is also done, and yet we have another part of the question: how many rooms are required if each group will be allotted a room? So each group will be allotted a room. So for music there are 5 groups, so there will be 5 rooms, and for dance there are 7 groups, so there will be 7 rooms for them, and for handicrafts there are 9 groups, so there will be 9 rooms for them allotted. So the total number of rooms that will be allotted is 21 rooms. So this is how we solve this question. Let us move on to the next question. So the next question is from the polynomials chapter, which states if alpha beta are the zeros of quadratic polynomial 5x square plus 5x plus 1, find the value of alpha square plus beta square and alpha inverse plus beta inverse. So we have the polynomial f of x, which is equal to 5x square plus 5x plus 1. Alpha and beta are the zeros of this quadratic polynomial. So we have two conditions, right? Alpha plus beta is equal to minus coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x square. So this gives us minus coefficient of x is 5 and coefficient of x square is again 5. So we will have alpha plus beta value as minus 1 here, and the value of alpha beta is constant term divided by coefficient of x square. So the constant here is 1 divided by coefficient of x square is 5. So using this information we are going to find the value of alpha square plus beta square and alpha inverse plus beta inverse. So first alpha square plus beta square. So using alpha plus beta and alpha beta, how can we arrive at the value of alpha square plus beta square? If you recall, we can do like this: alpha plus beta whole square is equal to alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta. So now we have to find the value of alpha square plus beta square, and if you see, alpha plus beta value is known to us and alpha beta value is known to us. So come on, let's do it. Alpha square plus beta square will be alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta. So alpha plus beta is minus 1, so minus 1 whole square minus 2 into alpha beta value is 1 by 5. So 1 minus 2 by 5, alpha square plus beta square will be 3 by 5. Then next alpha inverse plus beta inverse. which means 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. So if we cross multiply, we get alpha plus beta divided by alpha beta. So alpha plus beta is minus 1 divided by alpha beta is 1 by 5. So our answer is minus 5. Let's move on to the next question. The next question states the sum of a two-digit number and the number obtained by reversing the digits is 66. If the digits of the number differ by 2, find the number. So we have a two-digit number. We have a two-digit number whose both the digits are unknown. So let's say the ones digit we have y and the tens digit we have x. So if you see any two-digit number, for example 42, 2 is the ones digit here and 4 is the tens digit here. You can write this as 4 into 10 plus 2, right? So that is 10 into the tens digit plus ones digit. So this two-digit number which is unknown will be, based on our assumption, it will be 10 into tens digit which is x plus ones digit which is y. First line of the question states the sum of a two-digit number and the number obtained by reversing the digits. So the number obtained by reversing the digits. That means here the ones digit becomes x and the tens digit becomes y. So the number obtained by reversing the digits will be 10 into y plus x. Since now y has become the tens digit and x has become the ones digit, so the number obtained by reversing the digit, which is again unknown to us, is 10y plus x. They have given a condition: the sum of the two-digit number and the number obtained by reversing the digits is 66. So the sum of this and this is 66. So 10x plus y plus 10y plus x is equal to 66. This is given. So from this we get 10x plus x 11x plus y plus 10y 11y equal to 66, which gives us x plus y is equal to 6. So this is one equation. And also they have given another condition: if the digits of the number differ by 2. So that means here we can have two cases. They have just given the two digits of the number differ by 2. So we don't know which digit is higher than the other. If x is greater than y, then x minus y is equal to 2. This will be the equation for this second statement. Or if y is greater than x, then y minus x will be 2, which is the next second case which is possible for the second statement. So let us consider this third equation. So if we solve 1 and 2, we get a number. On solving equations 1 and 2, we get 2x is equal to 8. That means x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 2. And if you substitute in the two-digit number 10 into 4 plus 2, which means 42. But if you consider the second scenario, so on solving equations 1 and 3, then we will get x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 4. So the number required will be 24. So there are two numbers possible as answers for this question. So how many such numbers are there? Two such numbers are there. So this is the approach to these type of questions. Let us go to the next question. So in this question we have been given a bit complex linear equation and we have been asked to solve this. So before solving this, let us make some assumptions. Let 1 by root x is equal to u and 1 by root y is equal to v. So now our equations can be rewritten as 2u plus 3v is equal to 2, and the other equation can be written as 4u minus 9v is equal to minus 1. So for the purpose of elimination, let me multiply the first equation by 2. So now I subtract these two equations, so the signs changes, this gets cancelled. 15v is equal to 5. So v is equal to 1 by 3. We get v is equal to 1 by 3. So if you substitute the value of the v that we have got here in any one of these equations, u value will get it as 1 by 2. But actually we have to find the value of x and y. U and v are variables that we have assumed here. So 1 by root x is equal to u. Instead of u, let me write 1 by 2, and 1 by root y is equal to v, which is 1 by 3, which gives me x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 9 as the solutions for this set of linear equations. I hope you understood this. Let us move on to the next question. So the next question is again a question from circles. PA and PB are tangents drawn to a circle of center O from an external point P. Chord AB makes an angle of 30 degree with the radius at the point of contact. So this is the chord AB. This chord makes an angle of 30 degree with the radius. So this angle is 30 degree. If the length of the chord is 6 centimeters, so the length of the chord is also given. Find the length of the tangent PA and the length of the radius OA. Okay, so what can be done about here? So let me consider this angle is 30 degree. Here AP and BP are tangents, right? AP and BP are tangents. So AP is equal to BP. That's what we know. And also we studied another property that the radius is always perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact, right? So here, since we have been given angle OAB is equal to 30 degree, we know that angle OAB is equal to angle OBA. Angles opposite to equal sides of an isosceles triangle. Why do I say this triangle is an isosceles triangle? Because OA is equal to OB, since they both are the radius of the same circle. So we can say, since this angle OAB is equal to 30 degree, then OAB is equal to OBA, which is equal to 30 degree. And we know this whole angle is 90 degree. So we can say this angle is 60 degree, and similarly this angle also has 60 degree. So angle BAP is equal to angle ABP, which is equal to 90 degree minus 30 degree, which comes out to be 60 degree. So since two angles in this triangle ABP, in triangle ABP, using the sum of angles in a triangle property, if we find angle APB, APB also turns out to be 60 degree. So since all the angles of triangle ABP are 60 degree, so we get triangle ABP is an equilateral triangle. So since it is an equilateral triangle, then we get AP is equal to BP is equal to AB, which is equal to this AB's value is given. The length of the chord is 6 centimeter. So the length of the tangent PA is also 6 centimeter. And we have another part of the question which asks us to find the length of the radius OA. Let us consider joining this point O to the point P. So now let us name this point of intersection of OP to AB as, say, E. So now let us consider triangle AEP and triangle BEP. So in these two triangles we have AP is equal to AP BP, since they are tangents drawn from an external point to the circle, and we can say PE is equal to PE. Of course, since these are the common sides to both these triangles, and also we have angle APO is equal to angle BPO, since OP bisects angle APB. So we can say, therefore, triangle AEP is congruent to triangle BEP by SAS congruence. So by SAS congruence, we can say that these two triangles are congruent. Since these two triangles are congruent, then we get angle AEP is equal to angle BEP, which will be equal to 90 degree. AE is equal to BE, since they are the corresponding sides of each of these triangles. So now if we see AB is 6 cm, so AE is equal to BE will be equal to 3 cm. And now in triangle AEO, if we see, angle OAE is equal to 30 degree. So if we find the cos of this angle, cos 30 degree will be equal to, the adjacent side for this angle will be AE divided by the hypotenuse will be OA. So the cos 30 degree value is root 3 by 2, which is equal to AE value is 3 divided by the hypotenuse OA value, that is the radius that we have to find. So OA is equal to 3 into 2 by root 3. So OA will be 2 root 3 centimeter. So the radius of the circle that is asked in this question will be 2 root 3 centimeter. I hope this question is clear to you. Let us move on to the next question. Two tangents TP and TQ are drawn to a circle with center O from an external point T. Prove that angle PTQ is equal to 2 angle OPQ. Let us try to visualize this question first. So there is an external point T, and from this point two tangents are drawn to the circle. So this is TP and TQ, and the center of the circle is O. Prove that angle PTQ is equal to 2 times angle OPQ. So how can I accomplish doing this? Let us suppose, for the sake of solving this question, I am joining this OQ. So the construction will be join OQ. So now if we see, OP is perpendicular to PT, since radius is perpendicular to tangent at the point of contact. And similarly we can say OQ is perpendicular to QT. So if we consider the quadrilateral, in quadrilateral QOPT, we know that the sum of all angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. So we can write angle OPT plus angle PTQ plus angle TQO plus angle QOP will be equal to 360 degree. And we know two of these angles are 90 degrees. Since OP is perpendicular to PT, angle OPT will be 90 degree. 90 degree plus angle PTQ, we don't know about it, plus angle TQO. Since OQ is perpendicular to QT, angle TQO will also be 90 degree plus angle QOP, we have no idea about it, equal to 360 degree. So we get angle PTQ plus angle QOP is equal to 180 degree from this above equation. From this we get angle QOP is equal to 180 degree minus angle PTQ. Now if we consider the triangle POQ, in triangle POQ, angle POQ plus angle OPQ plus angle OQP is equal to 180 degree. So instead of angle POQ or angle QOP, I can write 180 degree minus angle PTQ. So 180 degree minus angle PTQ plus angle OP, and if you see again, OP is equal to OQ. So this is an isosceles triangle, and we know the property that the angles opposite to equal sides of an isosceles triangle are equal. So I can write this OPQ is, since angle OPQ is equal to angle OQP, I can write angle OPQ plus angle OQP as 2 times angle OPQ is equal to 180 degree. So this 180 and 180 gets cancelled, and from the above equation I derive angle PTQ is equal to 2 times angle OPQ, which is the exact same equation which we are asked to prove. So hence proved. I hope this is clear to you. Let us move on to the next question. So the next question is a bit tricky question from trigonometry. The question states 1 plus sine square theta is equal to 3 sine theta cos theta. We have to then prove that the value of tan theta will be either 1 or 1 by 2. So in order to get the value of tan theta, we know that in trigonometry tan and secant are related by the equation secant square theta is equal to 1 plus tan square theta. So if by any way I can make all this equation into tan and secant, I can then convert the secant into tan using this formula and then proceed on to find the value of tan. So what can I do to convert everything in terms of secant and tan? Dividing both LHS and RHS by cos square theta. So if I divide cos square theta on both sides, I'll get 1 by cos square theta plus sin square theta by cos square theta is equal to 3 sin theta cos theta divided by cos square theta. So I get secant square theta plus tan square theta is equal to 1 cos theta gets cancelled here, so 3 tan theta. Instead of secant square theta, from this identity that we are well known, we write instead of secant square theta 1 plus tan square theta plus tan square theta is equal to 3 tan theta, which gives us the form of a quadratic equation, which is 2 tan square theta minus 3 tan theta plus 1 is equal to 0. So here we have minus 3, 2, so minus 2 minus 1. So 2 tan square theta minus 2 tan theta minus tan theta plus 1 is equal to 0. We take 2 tan theta common here, we get tan theta minus 1 into tan theta minus 1 is equal to 0. So tan theta minus 1 into 2 tan theta minus 1 is equal to 0, which gives us tan theta is equal to 1 or tan theta is equal to 1 by 2, which is the exact same thing which we are asked to prove. Hence proved. I hope this is well understood by you. Let us move on to the last question of today's video. The length of 40 leaves of a plant are measured correct to nearest millimeter, and the data obtained is represented in the following table. So the length is given, and in terms of class intervals, and in between these lengths the number of leaves that are there are given in this table. So we are asked to find the mean length of the leaves. So before finding the mean for this, the initial thing that we have to check here is whether all the class intervals are continuous. Whether it is continuous? No, it's not continuous, because here it is 118 to 126. The second class interval is not starting from 126, but it is starting from 127. So in order to solve this discrepancy, we have to remember certain things. If the classes are discontinuous, we have to change the upper boundary and the lower boundary. The lower boundary will become lower limit minus half of the gap, and the upper boundary will become upper limit plus half of the gap. Let me explain it clearly to you. The lower limit in the sense the first value of the each class interval, and upper limit in the sense the second value in each class interval. So if the classes are discontinuous, in order to make them continuous, you will do these two things for each of the class intervals that are given in the table. So for each of the class intervals, you will reduce the lower limit by half of the gap. Gap in the sense here it is 126 and the next value it is starting from 127, so the gap is 1. So half of the gap in the sense the gap will be, the value of half of the gap will be 0.5. So you will subtract in each of the class intervals the lower limit by 0.5 and you will add the upper limit by 0.5. Simplified form of the table like this. And from this it's very easy to proceed on as we do for finding the mean of a given table. So first we will find the xi value, which here it turns out to be 122 and this turns out to be 131, 140, 149, 158, 167 and 176. And if we have to do this question by assumed mean method, we see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 class intervals are given. So we choose the middle one, which is the fourth one, to be our assumed mean, and the di will be xi minus a. So if we subtract 149 from each of these, and if we see all these values of di have 9 as a common factor, so I divide di by 9 to get a new value called ui, and now I multiply fi and ui. So the sum of this will be minus 9 and the sum of the frequencies will be 40. So the mean will be, mean is equal to the assumed mean plus summation of fi ui divided by summation of fi into h, as this is the formula for step deviation method which we have performed above. So I will get mean value to be, the assumed mean is 149 plus summation of FIUA is minus 9 divided by summation of FI will be 40 into the value of H here is 9. This value, this is the value of H. So the final answer that I will get is 146.975. I hope this video was useful to you. If you like this video, please share it to your friends and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.